seconds, please.
I think I just lost you.
Well, you were here. You just can't see.
It is streaming live on YouTube.
Yes, please.
Where is Zoom? Okay. All right, well, I can't see everybody, so that's a difficulty. If you want to raise your hand, you're going to have to holler, I guess. I am sorry about this, but in addition to that, my husband just came home from the hospital after being there for 6 weeks. So it's a kind of a chaotic day here in Pawcatuck, Connecticut.
I'm glad he's home. We're glad he's home.
Yeah. Best
Yeah,
to you and him.
So I don't know. I had reviewed our last meeting because it was so long ago. And we were still talking about what we wanted as far as the oversight and the coordinating kind of committee and so forth. And I have to tell you, I did lose track of that, but we wanted to also talk about, look pretty weird here. Is Lori on?
Not yet.
Oh,
Okay.
Too late.
So that was one of the things that was left over from the last meeting was we never got to her issue.
right.
Should we start? Should we?
I can't discuss
Can't
it.
start. You're not here.
All right, so let's go back a minute to the whole concept that we were talking about the last time. I know, I think Lori might have sent something in. I'm not sure, but this is a very important part of what we want to do. The oversight committee and the IG and the coordinating committee, or what, we talked about an interagency council or interagency committee that would be made up of various commissioners and stakeholders in helping to facilitate a better or in the behavioral health, including families and the communities. Has anybody given any more thought to that? I can only see one person, and that's you, Kim.
Oh, okay. Well, when we say committees, I just get so worried. They had an oversight. I forgot what the name of it was, right?
They had an advisory,
Yeah,
which is a different role.
Absolutely. So that's I guess what I want to make sure we're clear on. Like, we should really recommend that it is a different role, that it has the authority it needs, or reports directly to somebody who can take action. I think, when I hear just recommendations of committees, I just get nervous that it'll get lost if it doesn't have the
I understand.
Right.
We've been on those committees, haven't we?
Yes. If it doesn't have the power.
I accept the responsibility for not reaching out to all of you and asking you to put some of your thoughts down. But I reviewed our last meeting because I didn't want to. I wanted to be up on what we were doing, and I'm wondering if people are willing to write down what your hopes are, or what your
I think we would have gone beyond that, haven't we? I mean, we've really formulated the committee. We've given it authority. I think that's a real huge step backwards, to be honest.
Well, I don't think it's anywhere solidified as the thinking of the task force. I think, yes, we've talked about it, but we have not consolidated and said this is what we want, and it's a very important part of what we could be recommending. Actually,
I think
And
Linda,
I
I
don't
don't
know
want-
if that would be too much of a,
I think
too
Linda, I
much
don't
of
want to,
a lift for folks, or would people be
don't
willing to
think-
volunteer to work on that?
I don't want to speak for Mike, Linda, but we're not, remember, first of all, we're not doing anything, right? We're only going to be making recommendations. And I think,
What
I
what I'm
think,
talking about is, I'm not saying write the law. I'm just saying, talk about, consolidate what we have said. Nancy's right, we have said it, but in going back and listening to it, it's there. But as the discussion continued, people changed and thought of other things that they wanted to add. And I think,
I'd like to hear what John was going to say.
is anybody
Finished with what his
interested in working on this?
I don't think.
yeah,
he's finished.
I didn't really, thank you, Nancy. No, I didn't finish my thought. What I was going to say was that I think I actually, on this one, I have to agree with Nancy. I think it would be better. I would love this to be an item on the agenda because I think what we've said is, because we morphed it, right? We evolved. We said, okay, we don't want just a committee because one has to have some oversight and some teeth. We then morphed a little bit and said, we think it should be interagency, right? And so we
Well,
ended
no,
up with
those
kind
are
of-
two separate things, John.
Okay.
If I can
Fair.
interrupt for a second,
No,
yeah.
that's right. So we have the interagency group,
So
right?
I could take a crack at it
Can we let John
and-
finish? He's been trying really hard.
and consolidate what was said at the meetings.
Can we let John finish his
But
thought?
before we,
He hasn't said it. He
this
still
is not
hasn't gotten it
finished.
out.
It's
So
still
let's
in progress.
everybody
And there
stop
has to be
And give John
a
chance
real
to finish.
consensus.
Linda, let's give John a chance to finish what he's been trying to say.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I just think it's better if we just had a discussion actually on this and just hammered out in words the two parts. I just think if we each send something in, we're gonna end up with a hodgepodge again, and we're still gonna be back. I think we're so close to resolving these two. One is the interagency group, really to look at the entire process of care and how we move these patients through the continuum, right? That was an important part of that whole discussion, having those same people in the same room, I think. And then separate is the oversight
Yes,
group that can hold the leadership team accountable, right? I think those are the two basic things we're talking about. And before you came on, Linda, I just wanted to add,
well,
if I
what
could,
are, we, format in our final report. So I guess I was just asking if anybody wanted to work. I will take a crack at it. I will take a
fine.
crack.
No, I think that's fine for you to take a crack at it. But the other thing, Beverly had just made a great suggestion, Linda, before you came on, that perhaps we're at a point where we can, and perhaps for our next meeting, since everybody's not all here today, we actually could take the 8 bullet points from our task force request for the asks that the legislator asked us upon, and maybe
Whoops, I'm not hearing you.
And oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can.
Yeah. So what we're saying, what Beverly had suggested, we take the 8 points of the letter that we got from the task force, our assignment, if you will, break it up into its component 8 parts, and maybe divvy up a responsibility to start to draft a response, because the one element we're missing right now, I think, as far as evidence that we need to hear, is from the actual employees from the survey, and we're not going to get that until, sounds like, end of May. So that gives us a few weeks where we can actually start putting together, including this element that we just talked about, start putting together a report actually. And then we would just add whatever we gleaned from that actually is a separate bullet anyway. The survey results is actually a separate bullet. So I thought that was Beverly's suggestion, not mine, but I thought it was a great idea. Again, we need everybody in the room though to divide the tasks to see who's comfortable writing what. That's all. I'm done for today.
Well,
you, Nancy.
so did people agree with that? And does people want to like divvy that up, or what do we
Not
want to do?
now.
here?
I think
We should wait till everyone's here.
Everyone's on.
Okay. Mike is not going to be here, so,
Can I make
That's
a
why we can't do it.
suggestion?
Oh, we mean next meeting.
oh, you mean the
Next
next
me-
meeting?
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead, Kim.
Yes, Kim? You want to say something?
I just want to make a suggestion, 1 second before you got on, Linda, and obviously it sounds like you have a lot going on and, our thoughts are with you as you're taking care of your husband. If we could maybe even end today, it feels like it's hard for us to communicate even talking. And then, as of course, Lori just came now too, which is good, but as we regroup, come back together at our next meeting and really go over, start on time, have everyone here and really go over each of the 8 points and the plan and who's doing what, and really have like a outline, like a project management outline of who's doing what and when it's due. If
That
that's
sounds like
okay
a
with
really
everyone.
good idea.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Hey, bye, Lori, we're done.
It feels too
All right, but
overwhelming
Lori,
today.
you had something from the last, Lori, I was very late because my computer kind of crashed, so I'm telephoning in today.
Okay. Well, I just finished giving a 3-hour oral exam, so my brain's a little fried right now.
Perfect.
More Zoom fun.
Did you want to take up the issue that was left from the last agenda?
What issue was that?
What did it have to do with the let me see here. PSRB, did we finish that?
No, I think we finished that.
Yeah.
Did you have anything hanging out after that?
So the only other thing that we hadn't circled back to discussing was the competent thing I had written on competency, and then Nancy commented on it. We haven't discussed that as a group, but I mean, if we think we need to table that until Mike's with us, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd feel better with Mike here on that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, okay. So it looks like I agree, and I second that motion. Is there anything else? I mean, do you want to just break up now and set a time for the next meeting and hope that everybody makes it? I'm
Well, we don't
wondering,
have time. It's in 2 weeks unless we can.
right, but I'm wondering, did anybody get the impression that Mike is kind of stuck here on Fridays for a while?
No.
Okay,
We need to ask him, but, so next week, the 23rd is our next, just so, I'm the one that's most challenged with the calendar now. Ironically, I'm the one with the most free time too, which is kind of funny. 23rd is the next meeting, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And it'll
okay.
be at 1 or 1:30?
30.
And 30.
1:30.
Always
I'm
1:30 now.
sorry, but it's a thing I have to do to keep the house together, okay?
No, it's fine. I just want to make sure I got the time right. My calendar. So I think just to recap then, because I think people have gone into this, Lori, for your benefit, I think what we've agreed to, and I think you might have heard the tail end, that at the next meeting, we will, and it was really Beverly's suggestion, to give credit where credit's due, we should look at the task force charge and break it up into the basic 8 elements. And then maybe we can divide up the 8 elements amongst us to start writing, draft the report. And I think while we're at it, we could each just chime in and make sure we have the key element. I think we have a lot of information, just make sure we have the key points that we want to make on each of those 8 elements. Now we could start breaking up into maybe pairs, so we could start writing some of that. And then because the remaining thing is the survey results, which we're going to get around the end of May, we think. So this way, by the time we get the survey results, we'll have a pretty decent, hopefully, draft. Is that, oh my, what a good boy. Is he a boy? I think it's a boy. I guess boy, it's probably sexist of me. Does that sound okay, Lori?
That does. That sounds great.
and including, we just spent a minute talking about the two oversight. I want to be careful with my words here, but the two bodies that we've talked about, the interagency group that can really oversee the entire process of care for folks from entry to exit, including back into the community. And then secondly is, and I think we probably feel equally important, if not more important, is that oversight group that has actual, we're trying to avoid the word committee, the oversight group that has actually responsibility to hold the leadership team accountable. So those are those two groups. That's one of the elements we need to address. I think that was what so guys, did I do a fair job recapping what we've discussed up until now?
Yep.
Okay, great.
All right,
So
Linda,
I believe there was a motion and it was seconded.
to adjourn.
okay. I
Aye.
I
Okay.
Bye.
have a good weekend, guys. See you in 2 weeks.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Talk soon.